Hey guys, welcome to Fantasy Football Lab. One of my last episodes for the year. Super Bowl 59 is tomorrow, right? Today's Saturday. Want to talk about a little parlay I got. 13 picks. Kansas City Eagles, right? Over 52 and a half. Jalen Hurts, 200 yards passing. A.J. Brown plus 5 receptions. A.J. Brown, 80 plus yards receiving. Xavier Worthy, 50 plus yards receiving. Dallas Goedert, 60 plus yards receiving. Juju to get 40 plus receiving yards. Dallas Goedert, 5 receptions. Saquon Barkley plus 150. Saquon Barkley, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, anytime TD. Patrick Mahomes, 40 plus rushing yards. Kareem Hunt, 60 plus rushing yards. So that's what I got. Let's talk about the stats over here for this game. I got my whole book out. So we're going to look at the Eagles defense, Kansas City's defense, the Kansas City offense, and the Eagles offense, and see how they match up against certain matchups, like the Eagles offensive line on the Kansas City's defensive line. Okay, so Eagles defense, we're going to start with for the season completion percentage for the defense, 62%, that was sixth, giving up 32.66, 3,266 passing yards, second in the league, so really low amount of passing yards allowed. 22 passing touchdowns allowed, that's eighth. 29% first down rate, so that was first in the league. So they're allowing the least amount of first downs on defense. 41 sacks, middle of the road. Against the run, 1,771, 1,771. That's 10th in the league against the run. 9 rushing TDs, that's second, so they're not allowing many TDs rushing. 108 rushing first downs, that's 11th in the league. 3,266 receiving yards allowed, second in the league. So the secondary is doing a really good job. 160 receiving first down, second in the league again. So the secondary is playing real well. So it's Slay out there, Q Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, they're having a great season. One thing that I'm noticing watching a lot of these games is the tackling from the secondary. That's going to play a part against Kansas City's receivers, especially Cooper DeJean. They tackle really well. So that's going to be a problem for Kansas City. Jalen Carter could cause a mismatch. He will. So Jalen Carter could have been the first round pick in that draft. He's similar to Warren Sapp, had some issues. I think it was a car accident that someone died in. They were speeding. Think he might have been a driver in one of these cars. So I think that hurt his draft stock. Character issues as well. So that would hurt Jalen Carter drop all the way to the Eagles. The Bears could have actually taken him to pick before that. He's going to cause a problem on the Kansas City offensive line. So I think that's going to be a big part of this game. Pressuring Pat Mahomes. So the best way to pressure the quarterback is D-tackle inside pressure. You could sneak around on the edge and sack quarterbacks and pressure quarterbacks, but I'm talking about getting them out of pocket, getting them out of that comfort zone of looking where to throw to receivers, open receivers from the middle. And that's going to be the problem that's going to occur in this game for Jalen Carter and company. Stop the run. Eagles defense, stop the run. Kansas City offensively on the run isn't that great, but they do commit to it. Hunt and Pacheco aren't having tremendous years, but they're effective. Pacheco, since coming back from injury, hasn't been so much. We'll see in the Super Bowl, but they need to stop the run. Tackle these short routes and these screens. Worthy, Hollywood Brown, they're going to be getting a lot of these short dink dunks, 2-yard, 3-yard screens, and just like wide receiver flare outs. So we need to be able to tackle. Q Mitchell, Slay, and Cooper DeJean are going to be doing a really good job. So Eagles defense has +1 here against this matchup with Kansas City offense. Kansas City's defense, now we're going to take a look at. Completion percentage, 66% allowed. Their defense, middle of the road. Yards allowed, 3,970, 16th. TDs allowed, 24, ranked 12th. First down percentage, 33.6, 12th. Sacks, 39, ranking 18th. Against the run, 1,731, 8th in the league. Rushing TDs, 13, it's 13th. Rushing first downs, 112, 16th in the league. Receiving yards allowed, 3,970, just like the yards allowed. 16th again, right? Receiving first downs, 191 allowed, 14th. So a lot of middle of the road stuff going on with Kansas City, and that's exactly what I wrote in my notes, middle of the road. Stingy against the run. Defensive coordinator, remember, he's won a couple with Kansas City, but also think back, he was the former Giants defensive coordinator when we ran through the Patriots. Offensive line likes to blitz. So we all know that with Spagnuolo, he likes to blitz. So the question is, where is he going to blitz? From what side? Inside or over on the edge? Bringing in linebackers, corner blitzes, and maybe slot corner blitzes. So that's something to look out for. Will we be able to get protection, like Tom Brady said in this Colin Cowherd episode a couple of days ago when they were talking? It's about protection, and it's about, getting your offensive line or your back or your tight end to know who they're going to block. But Kansas City defensive coordinator Spagnuolo is real tricky with it. He'll show and then he'll deceive and do something else. So where they're going to get protection and what Jalen Hurts is going to do when that pocket breaks down and when he loses protection. Eagles offensive line is, the greatest offensive line right now, right? Got like 3-4 future Hall of Famers on this offensive line. Pro Bowlers everywhere. However, how are we going to attack the blitz? That's something that we need to think about. How are we going to eliminate pressure, create lanes for Saquads? So Saquads has been running a wreck over that. And how is the defense and how is the defensive line going to break blocks or, break this protection to create smaller, narrower lanes? Saquon right now is getting 2-3 yards in the hole before even getting touched, right? So one thing to think about is how is that defense going to get stingier, going to get tighter, create less lanes for Saquads? The answer is the Eagles' offensive line is going to wreak havoc. I think Saquon is going to have a game of his life. I think it's between Saquon and A.J. Brown for MVP in this game. I like the Eagles in this game. So let's see now. Eagles offense. Yards a game, 367 a game, 8th in the league. First downs, 21 a game. That's 6th in the league. Fourth down percentage with the tush push, 70%, 4th in the league. Time of possession, 32 minutes a game. 3rd in the league. Passing yards a game, 187. Bottom 4. Rushing, 179 a game. 2nd in the league. Not good passing, really good rushing. So hold time possession, hold the ball, run the ball is what we need to do. Play action, deep ball to A.J. Brown. Run, and then throw some deep bombs to A.J. Brown. Sneaky MVP pick I have here on my notes, A.J. Brown. Offensive line versus the Kansas City defensive line. I think Eagles are going to smash on the offensive line. I think that's the matchup of this entire Super Bowl. The O-line versus the D-line and the way that the Eagles are going to protect and also open up lanes for Saquads. Kansas City offense. Yards a game, 327, 16th. First downs, 20, the 12th. Fourth down, 70%. They're 3rd, close with the Eagles. Time of possession, 31 a game, 5th. Passing, 222 yards a game, 14th. Rushing, 105 yards a game, 22nd. So really low on the running, in the middle on passing. Middle of the road, low ranking on the running game. KC's passing game versus the Eagles and their tackling secondary is going to be the matchup to watch. Worthy and Hollywood Brown against Cooper DeJean and Q Mitchell is what I wrote. I think that's what this boils down to in terms of the Eagles off the Kansas City offense. Can they get these first downs off of these screens and dink and dunks and turn them into explosive plays? Because Xavier Worthy, he's a burner, right? 4.2, right? Fastest in the 40-yard dash at the combine. We got to get the ball in his hands. What is he going to do with it if he's got some open space? Cooper DeJean's going to tackle him. So that's what's going to happen. The Eagles secondary is going to be all over these Kansas City short passing routes. And when we talk about the Eagles offense against Kansas City's defense, well, the things to watch is the Eagles offensive line against the Kansas City defensive line. And the advantage is the Eagles offensive line. So if they could create rushing lanes for Saquon, he's going to go off. That's what they need to do. Run heavy, play action, a little bit of passing here and there. 200 and something yards for Jalen Hurts, 100 and some 50 yards for Saquon. More Saquon, a little less Jalen. That's going to be their winning recipe. That's what's been their winning recipe for them to make this Super Bowl push this year. Kind of feel like wearing my Giants hat because I feel like it's a Super Bowl of the Giants. We got Saquon in there, and he's going to run havoc in this Super Bowl. And I'm going to cry if he wins Super Bowl MVP because I have no idea why we gave him to the Eagles. Okay, so that's what I got for you guys. Super Bowl status, KC, Eagles. Going to give you a score, 28 Eagles, 24 Kansas City. Not a game in the 30s, but not in the game in the low 20s. Real close, competitive, exciting matchup, I think is what we have. KC doesn't have all the horses. KC doesn't have all the players. The Eagles are loaded. The Eagles have all the players, offensive line, defensive line, secondary, receivers, and the greatest running back who probably should have been the MVP of the league. Shout out to Josh Allen, but it's Josh Allen and Saquon. They could have easily been co-MVPs. So that's what I got you guys for Super Bowl 59 edition. I gave you a couple of my parlay choices, as well as letting you see offense versus defense. Look at the stats a little bit. KC's very middle of the road, but they have Patrick Mahomes. The Eagles are loaded. Secondary's good. Offensive line is great. Running game's great. Let's see if it stays great for this game tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Fantasy Football Lab over and out.